Hello, happy Friday, everyone. It looks like I am live, which is awesome. I just wanted to apologize for not doing my live this Wednesday. I've had a family emergency, so kind of been dealing with that. So did not happen to go live on Wednesday, but I still am going to keep going live on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock. And then I'm going to also start doing Q&A sessions on Friday nights at 8 o'clock too. So anyways, I just wanted to come on today and ask any questions, if anybody has them, about plant-based eating, with running, anything like that. So if anyone has any questions, I did not get any questions from anyone when I posted and asked for any questions. So again, if you are joining me, looks like a couple of you are joining me, please let me know if you guys have any questions, and I would love to ask them. So anything around plant-based eating or nutrition for runners, anything like that. If anyone has any questions, let me know. But one question that did come up that I wanted to talk about a little bit on my podcast interview, which is my first podcast interview, which is super exciting. But anyways, they asked me lots of questions about plant-based eating for runners, which is right my really specialization right. So that's so it was really awesome to talk with them. Pretty cool. But as soon as that episode is released, of course, I will let you guys know. But something that did come up that I could talk about is getting protein. How much, if you can get enough protein as a runner on a plant-based diet. And I feel like this question seems to just come up so much because there's still, a little bit of a myth, not knowing if you can eat enough protein for running. And of course, like for endurance running, you don't need that much. You need more protein than general. So general recommendation is 0.8 grams per kilogram body weight. So that is what the general recommendation. So for runners, it's 1.2 to 1.4 grams per kilogram. So it's a little bit more. If you were a strength trainer, it would be even a little bit more than that. And there are bodybuilders now that are vegan, completely plant-based, no animal products, and they seem to have no problem getting enough protein. So really, there really is not an issue not getting enough protein. It may just be sources that you're not really used to, and you might have to eat more food. But if you're somebody like me that likes food, then you may not have a problem, right, eating enough. So that could be a challenge though, really just making sure that you eat enough of those foods that have more protein. But plant-based protein foods, tofu, tempeh, you can experiment with those different kind of soy-based proteins. There's so many recipes out there now, different things that you could do. So it doesn't have to be boring, and you also don't have to always eat salads. I hear that a lot, thinking like, oh, you're plant-based, you must eat a lot of salads. No, I actually am not somebody that likes to eat salads a lot. I just really get sick of salads. They're not satisfying to me. I really like to eat meals that, have different foods in them, like quinoa, veggies, like good whole foods, but that are satisfying to me and that are gonna also be satisfying to me for a run and give me enough energy for my runs also. So I just wanted to talk about that with protein, but also, of course, beans, legumes. It doesn't have to all be soy-based proteins. Another question I did get asked too is about soy, and this has also been somewhat of a myth about, is that a concern for breast cancer or anything like that? And the evidence that I have read, or the research that I have done, shows that there is not really a concern with eating soy products. And I really feel like in moderation is the thing. If you're eating soy in moderation, then it's not going to be an issue. But if you are concerned about it because of the estrogen in soy, then there's always ways around that. You can always, maybe eat some foods that don't have soy. So if you're doing a lot of tofu and tempeh, then maybe for like a yogurt-based, plant-based yogurt, you could try coconut. So not soy. So there's also different, things that you can really try to moderate so you don't have too much if that is a concern. But research does show that there really is not a concern with increasing your chance for cancer. So I just wanted to answer those questions. But as I said, tonight I really wanted to do a Q&A. So if any of you guys have any questions, I am just answering some questions that came on the podcast interview that I just had. So just wanted to throw those out there. But if you are just joining me, certainly you can just ask the question right in the comment box. Let me know you're here, wave, say that you're here, and you can certainly ask a question. So you can just type it right there in the comments. I will get it. It will pop up and I will answer your question. So again, if you have any questions related to plant-based eating, nutrition for runners, anything like that, definitely just, you can just write in the comments and I will try my best to answer your question. Let's see. So I'm going to just see if I have anything. I don't see anything here yet. So let me think of any other questions that I was asked some surprising questions too. Let's see. Was another one. Oh, bananas. This one was a surprising question that came up for me about if bananas are good for runners. So I thought this was really interesting, right? Because it sounded like bananas have kind of been getting a bad, rap a little bit because they're so high in carbohydrates. So for diabetics, eating a whole banana can really spike their blood sugar because it is so high, right, concentrated in carbohydrates. For runners, a banana may be just a little bit hard to digest. So maybe because it's more of like a complex carbohydrate, we would call it. So maybe a banana would be better after a run instead of before or during a run. Excuse me, because it may cause digestive issues. And of course, everybody's different, so you can always experiment with that. But that is something that could be, the case for runners. But of course, bananas are still a good food, right? They're still fruit. I also don't like to really consider any foods, whether they're good or bad. I don't really like to really mention that. So even though I said bananas are good, well, they are a fruit. I don't think they should be eliminated from your diet if you like bananas. So I just want to throw that out there. But yes, I certainly don't think there are any foods that are good or bad, or foods that you cannot include in a healthy diet either. As long as you, can, create a generally healthy diet. I don't even like to use the word diet really, but eating plan, then, you'll be okay. And that is where a dietitian comes in, or a nutrition coach like myself, that can really plan a healthy meal, can incorporate those foods that you really enjoy, and still reach your goals. So I just want to throw that out there. Oh, I got a question. Yay. Do you get more potassium from bananas or potatoes? That is a really good question. This was from Jack. So do you get more potassium from bananas or potatoes? So bananas and potatoes both have potassium. That is very true. They do both have potassium. I would have to look up the nutrition facts on either of those. those foods to actually see the grams. It also depends on how much. So I could certainly look up like what one medium banana would be to maybe one medium-sized potato, and then try to compare it that way in the amount of, well, be more accurate to compare it by the grams, to figure out how much potassium in each is. But I do not know actually how much potassium is in either of those, but they do both have potassium. Is vinegar good for reducing blood sugar? I have not heard that. Jack, you're giving me some hard questions. Is vinegar good for reducing blood sugar? Yeah, I have not heard that before. That would be something I would definitely have to research and look up if that is true. It could be. There is a lot of information, I will say, out on the internet, so it could be a myth, because that is not something that I have really heard before, but it does sound like it could be possibly a myth, but it really depends on how much evidence is out there. And sometimes too, with research and evidence, it isn't always up to kind of par of what we know. So sometimes there is a lack of evidence, even though it is true, but then there's the other side of it where if there's not evidence, it's hard to really say, well, there's something really helps or does something if there's not any research. It's really hard for dietitians to really recommend things, right, if there is no evidence, because we do practice evidence-based nutrition. So I hope that helps, Jack. I don't think that answered your question, but hope that helped. Let's see. I see Chris has some things coming in here. Let's see. Chris asked me about tuna fish, which of course is not plant-based, but that's okay. Is albacore different than normal? I assume you're asking about the types of tuna fish. That would not be something that I could really answer since I do not eat tuna fish. And it really, I think the types of tuna fish, though, I will say, really just depends on what I do know is your preference. But of course, like for tuna, for example, it would be better to get it, I guess this is more on a weight loss perspective. Not as much, really doesn't matter much, I think, for runners if you do eat foods. If you do eat protein foods that are not plant-based, but like water would be better than oil, right? Just because of the fats kind of thing. Any other questions? Okay, I don't see anything else coming up yet. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm so glad you guys are tuning in, joining me. Sorry though, I haven't been able to really answer your questions very well. Let me see if I can think of any other questions that came up during my Facebook Live. Or not my Facebook Live, my podcast interview. So if you are just joining me, I am just doing a Q&A session. So if you have any questions on plant-based eating or nutrition for endurance runners, then definitely you can just comment in the comment box and I will try to answer your question. So let's see, let me think of, trying to think of any questions that I was asked. I think that was a little of the main questions that I was asked, but is there anything else? Oh, iron came up. We did talk about iron. So with iron for runners, especially important for females, unfortunately with iron, we lose more iron monthly. So that can be more of a concern for females. And then with iron, you do not, you can still eat plant-based foods that have iron in them, but it may be a little bit of a challenge or harder to do. So like your green leafy vegetables like kale and spinach, those are going to have iron, beans have iron, those kind of things. And also to help that absorption is vitamin C. So vitamin C, drinking vitamin C or eating fruit, so maybe like strawberry salad or strawberry spinach salad, that would help absorb, the strawberries would help absorb more of the iron that's in the spinach. So if you're, concerned with your iron being low, you can go to your doctor, have a blood test, check your iron level, and kind of see if it is low or not, if you're concerned with your iron being too low. And a good way to really know that, or if you suspect that you have low iron, you might feel a little fatigued or tired, and that may cause you to suspect maybe that you are low on iron. And of course, iron supplements are also an option. And that, of course, too, with any supplements, I would recommend working with a nutrition professional, because you do not want, any of those, things to interact with anything, and there can be side effects of those, kind of supplements. So it is good to talk to a nutrition professional too, to make sure that, you do need to take that supplement, or, or maybe you can work out a better nutrition plan to include more foods with iron, because of course foods are always first. It's better to have more. It's better to eat your nutrients from your food if you can, because your body absorbs more of those nutrients more from our supplements. And also, not all of our supplements are regulated by the FDA, so that can be hard to really know how much is really in those supplements. And then really, it's hard to know how much is actually absorbed by your body also. So there's that. But of course, if it's really a concern, a supplement can be an option. Let's see. So if you're just joining me, let me know in the comment section if you have any questions, and I will try my best to answer it. And thank you guys for joining. And if you're still with me, I'm so glad you are. But again, if you're just joining, if you have any questions on plant-based eating or nutrition for runners, please, just leave your question in the comments, and I will try to answer it the best that I can. Hi, thanks for joining. Looks like some of you are on. Doesn't look like all of you. I'm not sure if you're still on, but if you are still here, just wave. Let me know you're here. Ask a question in the comment section, and I will try my best to answer. Let's see. I'm trying to think of any other questions that you guys might have. Let's see. What was the other thing that I was thinking of that came up? Protein, iron. Those are huge. Bananas, soy, iron. I don't think there was anything else. Does anyone have any other questions? If you're just joining me, I'm just doing a Q&A on plant-based eating and nutrition for runners. So if you are, have a question related to those topics, then you can just comment in the comment box, and it'll show up, and I will try my best to answer your question. So let's see. So we had a question on protein. So we talked about plant-based proteins. We had a question on iron. We talked about bananas. We had a couple of questions that I was not sure how to answer about potassium and vinegar for blood sugar. So that is things that I will have to do some research and get back to you on. And I think that was pretty much it. Okay. All right, it doesn't look like I have any other questions here. Okay, doesn't look like I have anything else. So if any questions do come up that you are interested and talking to me with, working with me, you know, or as I said, just a question that you think that I would be the best to answer and I will give my best shot at it, then let me know. You can just comment on this video if you want, and hopefully I should be able to still look back and see it. I do not know about Instagram if I will see it or not. So on Instagram, it's probably a better idea to just DM me and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Also, if you are, you know, somebody that is trying to go plant-based, or maybe you are plant-based and you need some new recipes, especially if you are an endurance runner and really, you know, want some recipes that will give you energy, then you can download my free ebook. I have 11 plant-based recipes in that book, and I also have a sample meal plan for a female endurance runner. So that may also be helpful for you. So if you want to check that out, all you have to do, and I will type it right in the comment section here, all you have to do is go right to my website, ksnutritionfitness.com. So you go right to that website, you will see it right on the front page. They sign up for my ebook, and all you have to do is put your name, your email, and you will get that. It will take a day or two. You will not get that email right away, but you will have an email in your inbox in 1 or 2 days, and you will be able to download that ebook that I just mentioned. So if that is something that you are interested in, you want to check out those recipes, I really encourage you to do that. And again, all that takes is to leave in exchange for your email to join my a couple emails that you will get following that ebook. So that's all you have to do. It's really easy. Again, if anyone has any questions that come up after I sign off, comment on this video, or you can just DM me and I will try my best to answer it. So I hope this was helpful. I think some of the questions I came through, I'm not sure I had the best answer for them, but I will get back to you guys. And I hope everybody has a wonderful Friday and a great weekend. Bye. Thank you for joining.